So, in other news, probably the biggest more news that we kind of talked about earlier, Julian. JoJo wasn't here for it. We talked about Deshaun Watson earlier on. I think the Cleveland Browns said they were
The never-ending story.
getting ready for a 8 game suspension. Finally comes out. The league and the players union, they have a separate arbiter or a judge to review the cases. They only reviewed five cases of allegations. They found out that it is true that Deshaun Watson has been probably more than likely has been the things he's been alleged of for these five cases, five of 23, 24, something
Wow.
like that. Um, and he finally came down with a 6 game suspension. But as of last week or the beginning of this week, the NFL, I think Roger Goodell's filed for like kind of
An
a review,
appeal.
like an appeal to for the judgment. So he got 6 games. I believe Roger Goodell wanted 12 games. He wanted like a whole season, pretty
He
much.
wanted the whole
At
season,
least
yeah.
12 games or a whole season coming out. And the Players Association, they wanted 6 games. They gave him 6 games. So Jojo, I'll go to you. When you heard this Deshaun news, him getting 6 games suspension, like how do you feel about it? How do you feel that Deshaun is getting treated in this case?
I mean, honestly, with that many accusations, and they finally did the research, right? Like, I guess he got lucky, right? 6 games. I feel like he's lucky, right? I mean, I know he hasn't been shown like guilty per se in the court of law, but they looked into those five cases and found enough evidence against him. So he for sure deserves a punishment for what's been going around. I don't think it's coincidental with how many cases, even though we did find it coincidental during the time those accusations arise. Obviously, when you requested that trade, um, but hey, man, he hasn't played in a year, right? He missed a season or maybe even more. I don't think it's really going to affect his game anymore at this point. So he just needs to mentally get prepared after those 6 games and just be ready to come back, man, and just put it behind him. But I'm glad that he got a pretty fair punishment. Obviously, you can have one side that wishes, you know, it was more games, and the other side is gonna say, "Hey, man, that's way too many games," because he wasn't proved guilty technically on anything. 6 games reasonable. I figured, my personal opinion, around 6 to 8 games was pretty fair for this matter.
Julian, how do you when you heard the news? How do you feel like the NFL and Roger Goodell is processing it? Like, do you think that he got a fair shake?
Oh, I think he's gonna get more. It's not over yet. I don't know. There's one thing that always happens: that the Shield doesn't lose. The Shield gets what they want, and I think they're gonna appeal this. I, I would not be surprised if the whole season's gone. I wouldn't be
Wow.
surprised. And some people think that he deserves it. I
Yeah.
don't know. Like I because it is weird. I'm I don't know. Like because my biggest thing is just like how do you determine, because if like Jojo said, if the court of law didn't charge him on
Yeah,
anything, then it's like I don't know. Like it's weird. But then again, it's like
Yeah. And
it's
listen,
all a PR move. Like realistically, the NFL, if there wasn't such a PR aspect, they would have played him.
yeah.
They don't care at the end of the day. But
My thing is real quick, not to interrupt, but back to my point, you know what I
yeah,
mean?
go ahead.
Obviously, not everything's going to be proved in a court of law, right? Like, if he did step out of boundaries with women, disrespected, pursued when he shouldn't have, of course, he should 100% get punished. But like Julian said, like the situation is kind of weird around, it's kind of around when it happened. And the situations we're hearing, like with the massages and all these things, they were kind of throwing things left and right at him. If he did wrong, he deserves a punishment at the end of the day, right? Now it's just what will that punishment be, which he got those 6 games. But you could go
yeah,
I
ahead.
thought 6 games was a little light. Like if I'm just considering like
Yeah.
what he would
I
have
agree.
gotten, I thought six. I thought he was either going to get none or he was going to get like 10. I thought it was. I'm kind of surprised he only got 6. I thought he was either going to get off completely scot free, or. But now with the appeal, it looks like Roger Goodell's really going after him. So yeah, like I said, man,
Yeah,
you don't mess with the Shield. Like
Yeah.
he's going to get a whole damn season, like or at least 12.
Yeah, he'll definitely see. He'll start the season. He'll finish the season.
And realistically, like, does he even care how much he gets suspended? Because
No, he's had the highest paid contract ever given to a
he's gonna
quarterback.
make $40 million this year, and the season's already a wash because you're gonna have a backup quarterback, most likely playing on, let's say, on the good end half the season. It's like do you, I guess it really depends where the team's at. I mean, if Cam Newton goes in there and starts fucking balling up, and then if they end up signing him, I guess it really depends. But it's like, I think Deshaun is just like, I think he just doesn't care. And everybody, I don't know if you've seen the clips going around in training camp.
I
He's
did.
been looking bad. He's been looking. Granted, he's
I
probably
have.
rusty, but supposedly he's been training. So I don't know.
So we'll see. I mean, Deshaun Watson, like I said, more than likely, as of right now, as it stands, the news, he will play this season. But we'll see what comes of the appeal come the second half of the season.